Hi friends, hope you are all doing well. Welcome back to our CISA video series. Today we will discuss on encapsulation. So let's get started. Encapsulation in CSAP means hiding the internal details of a class and only exposing what's necessary. Hiding the internal details of a class and only exposing what's necessary. So we achieve it by using access modifier like private and public and controlling access through properties or methods. So we can achieve encapsulation by using our access modifiers like private, public and others are there, and controlling access through properties or methods. So these are the way via which we can achieve our encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? First, encapsulation is one of the core principles of object oriented programming. So it's like putting our data or variables and behavior methods inside a protective capsules. So if our class is like a capsule and we can protect our data which is variables and behavior like methods inside that class or capsule. So this process is called as encapsulation by hiding this data and methods by protecting from outside. We hide the internal workings and only allow controlled access to the outside world. So what is the internal working and all, we no need to show to the outside world. Only we will show what is necessary, or we will expose only the necessary details. Think of it like a TV remote. We press button to change channels, but we don't need to know how the electronics inside work. That is one type of encapsulation example in the real world. So how to achieve encapsulation in CSAP? We use access modifiers and property. There are two ways. One is access modifiers and another one is property. Access modifier or access specifier in CSAP defined how and where member of a class like variable, methods or property are the member of a class can be accessed. So this access specifier defines or specify like how our data or our member of a class can be accessed to the outside world. There are 6 types of access specifier or access modifier. One is public, private, protected, internal, protected internal and private protected. 6 type of access modifiers are there to achieve encapsulation. So we will discuss one by one like what is the scope of this like each access specifier by using this example. I have already written the code here. One class is here which is called car. There are I have created many classes here. For more clarity, let's okay. Then one class is called car and I have declared one variable called, it is type of public, which is a access specifier. Public is the access specifier here, and here the access specifier is private and here is protected. So 3 type of variables I have declared: private, public and protected. Let's check the scope where this model will be available, this engine number will be available, this speed will be available. So as per our node, public accessible from anywhere in the project or other referenced assemblies. Assembly, we can say another project which is reference to this project. I have created another project. I will show you how to create. This is the solution. Here I can create number of project by clicking this add new project. Then what type of project you need to add, you can add. You can see there is different types of project, but I have added one console application project here. Okay, let me close this one. Then this I have created this console app 2. For your understanding, I created previously, like I created before. And what I did, I added a reference to the initial project, my first console app. See, there is dependency, and inside this dependency I can click add project reference, and if you see this my first console app will be like it's checked here, so that this my fast console app is reference to this console app too. So these are different project, but it is interlinked. So what is the meaning, like why I am saying this all? Because what it is saying, accessible from anywhere in the same project or other referenced assembly. This public access specifier, like the scope for this public access specifier, it is inside this project as well and to the reference project as well. If you see, I have created this one and this program.cs. See, I have created one. Car is the class here. If you see, this one is my fast console app dot car. This is the one class for this project, and this is another project. If you see, this is console app 2, and inside that this car is from my fast console app dot car. And here, what is this column? Column means, I will say you, this is used for inheritance. Okay, so inheritance we will discuss in another upcoming video, don't worry on that. But just for now, we can understand by using this inheritance, this is called the parent class and this is the child class. So the properties of parent class will be accessible to this child class when inheritance is there. So I have written this inheritance to like make you understand, like the car, the variables on the or the member of this car class will be accessible to this program class of another project. That's why don't worry on this inheritance and this column and all. So I just want to show you this car, new car, then car dot model is available here. If you see, this model is a public field inside our car class, and which is accessible outside the project as well and inside the project as well. I will show you this car, new car, then car dot model. Here I have created the object of this car class. By using this object, I can access this model variable of this car class. So public is accessible to anywhere inside the same project as well as outside the same project. That is public access specifier. Accessible only within the containing class. So if I will declare one variable as private, it will only accessible to the same class for the on the same project. It will not accessible anywhere else. See, this is a private string engine number, and it will accessible inside this same class. If you see, this car class is till this, and this car dot engine number is accessible inside the same class in the main method. But if I will create another class called x car and I am trying to access this car dot engine number, it will be not accessible. I will comment. Okay, I will uncomment this one. What it is saying, car dot engine number is inaccessible due to its protection level. So we have created a protection for this engine number, that is private. So we cannot access outside the class. So it is only accessible inside the same class, so the containing class. That is one thing. Next one is protected, accessible within the containing class and its derived class. So protected speed, if you see, it will be accessible to the same class as well as the derived class, or we can say child class. I just 1 minute before I just said like parent class and child class concept. So child class also called as derived class. So this protected is accessible to the same class as well as to the derived class of the car class. If I will derive one class from the see, this one is a separate class. There is no link to the car class. So here we cannot access this speed. Check, speed is inaccessible here because it is protected, and protected only accessible to the child class, or we can say derived class. Y car is derived from this car class. So this speed can be accessible to this Y class because Y car is a child class or derived class of this car class. Got it? Okay, so this is the concept. So protected is accessible to the same class as well as the derived class. Internal, accessible within the same assembly. If we will declare a variable as internal, so it cannot be accessible outside this project, like it will not accessible to this program.cs. See, I have created one method here, that is type of internal, so method. So what internal access specifier scope, it will be accessible to the same class, same project. So if you see, this is inside this car class, and so will be available to the another class which has no link to the car class but in the same project. That's why we can access by using the object of the same class, car class. Y car is a child class or derived class from car class. There also we can access this show method. Wherever we want we can access. Okay, but not outside the project. That is the scope of our scope of our internal access specifier. So sorry friends, I have shown you a wrong example of internal. So it is not internal. I have shown you this one internal, but show method is not internal, it is protected internal, that is another access specifier. So our next is internal, next access specifier is so internal. I will show you one example. Internal, we can define our access specifier in any level, like in class level, in our variable level, in our method level. So here I have declared one class, helper class, which is type of internal access specifier, and I will show you like how, like what is the scope of this internal. As I already shown you, internal is accessible within the same assembly or same project. So this is one project. Our one project is our console, my fast console app. Second is console app 2. And this class helper is a class inside my fast console app. So it should not be accessible in the program.cs class of our console app 2. So I will show you. I am trying to create a object of this helper class outside of this project in another project, and what is saying, helper is inaccessible due to its protection level. So it is protected, we cannot access outside of the project, and it can be accessible anywhere in the same project. If you see, this is helper class and I have created the object of this helper class, and I will use like the method or the variables, whatever the member of this helper class, by using this object of, like here one method is assist. I have not like define any definition here, only I want to show you like the accessible scope. So assist is one method of this helper class, and I can access this assist method by using the object of this helper class, which is internal. So it is now, I hope it will be clear now. Then one access specifier is protected internal. So it is combination of this protected and internal. Protected is accessible in the same class, containing class, and the derived or child class, whereas internal is accessible within the same assembly. So what it is saying, protected internal accessible within the same assembly and from derived class in other assembly. So as it is protected, it will accessible to the derived class. As it is internal, it is accessible in the same assembly. So what it is meaning, like accessible within the same assembly or same project and derived class in other assembly. So we can access, let's check the example. Protected internal so is a method of car class, so it can be accessible in the same assembly as it is protected and internal. Internal means assembly accessible to the same project, internal. So method can be accessible. So let car dot show. So I can access this show method by using the object of car class. So it is internal. And how it is car dot show, or we can also access this inside here also in the child class of car class, that is y car dot show. So anywhere in the same project. And if we want to access the protected internal variable or protected internal method outside the class, then outside the project, then it must be a derived class of that class. So that we are doing inheritance here and making this program class as a child class of this car class, so that we can access this program dot show. See, program as program is a child class, so we can access all the parent class method inside our child class. So is accessible here. If you go to the definition of this same method, it will redirect to this method, which is a protected internal. So it is satisfying both the access specifier rule. One is protected, which is accessible to the child class. Here it is accessible to the child class. And internal, as it is internal, it is accessible to the same project. Like it can be a derived class or it cannot be a derived class. That is our protected internal. And one more is there, private protected, accessible within the containing class as it is private, and derived class in the same assembly. So in the same assembly, it is as it is private, it is accessible to the containing class, and as it is protected, it will be accessible to the derived class in the same assembly or in the same project. I will show you private protected configure method, which is a method of this car class. So it should be accessible to the same class configure, and it should be accessible to the child class as it is protected. What is the method name? Configure. One second. So as configure method is private and protected, so it is accessible within the containing class and the derived class in the same assembly. Containing class, car class, so car dot configure, it is accessible. We cannot access if it is not a child class or derived class. See, X car, there is no connection between our X car and normal car, so it is not accessible, inaccessible. And what it is saying, it is protected. So y car dot configure, y car is the object of this y car class, which is a derived class of this car class. So y car dot configure is possible, it is accessible to y car, but it is not accessible outside the project if it is a child class or not. See, car program is a child class of this car class, so, but as it is protected and private, so it should not be accessible to the outside of the project. So it is saying due to its protection level. So that is all about our access specifier. So by using this access specifier, we can achieve our encapsulation, so that whatever we want to show to the outside world, like to the another class, if a variable or a member of a class is like we can define the scope as per our requirement. We will only give the access what like as per our requirement to another class by using this 6 type of access specifier. If we want to give access to anywhere to access the variable or member, we can declare as public. If you don't want to give the access to any of the other class other than the containing class, then we can declare as private. And if we want to declare or we want to give access to a variable or a member of a class to only the derived class and the containing class, we can give protected internal. If we want to access the variable or the member of a class throughout the project but not outside the project, we can declare as internal. If we want to access that variable in the same assembly as well as in other assembly of derived class, there we can declare as protected internal. And if we want to only access inside our containing class as well as our derived class in the same assembly, then we can declare as private protected. As per our requirement, we can give access to the member of a class so that encapsulation can be achieved. So this example already we have seen. Another way to access or to achieve encapsulation, that is property. Properties, we have already a video in our C# video series. Although there is a video, we can discuss once again. One example is, I will show you the example here. See, private field hidden from outside. Private string name. As we already discussed, if I will declare a member as private, it will not accessible to any other like anywhere else other than this the containing class. So if we want to access or we want to change the value or we want to read the value of this name field, so how to achieve this? By using public method to set the name. There is two way, one is method and another one is property. If I will this one is private, but this set name is a public method which is taking a parameter as a new name, and I am setting this new name to my private field name. And another method is get name, which is returning our private field name. In that way we can set or get the value of our private field. So now any class can be accessed this at this set name and get name, as the both method are public, and they can set the name of this name field and return the name field. Then to get the name is private, it cannot be accessed directly. Set name and get name are public, they allow controlled access. Another way we can set our property like public string name, get or set. This is auto implemented property with public access. Or if we want to control access, then we can set like private string name, then public string name, which is a property, and there get specifier and set. So, like get is returning name and set we can control the access, like we can like add some custom condition also here. String is null or empty, it is if the string is not null or empty, or if there is the value, the condition means it will check if it is null or empty. If it is null or empty, it is not null or empty, or if there is a value inside this value, then it will set the value as name. So we can achieve by using this one as well. This lets or validate or restrict how data is set or retrieved. Auto implemented property, I have already shown you one example. Auto implemented property, public string name. There is two type of property. Auto implemented property, see, auto implemented, this is auto implemented property. Name already I declared, that's why it is showing one error. So let's comment all these things. See, private name is private, void set name and get name. I will also comment these two. Okay, so this is name, one variable, and this is one property which is used to set or get the value of this private string name. Okay, so private string name can be accessible by using this public property. So this is called auto implemented property. No need to write extra custom condition here. But if we want some custom condition to add inside our property, then this way we can write get return name, whatever the name value it will return. Set, if the value will check, like if the value is null or empty, then it will not set any value. If the value is there, then it will set the value as name. So this is one way by like defining access specifier. If there is any custom condition, you can access or you can define in this way. If there is no condition and all, then you can directly write like this: public string name, this get accessor, set accessor. So what is this auto implemented property? Auto implemented property in C# are a shortcut for creating property without manually writing the backing field. They make our code cleaner and more concise, where no extra logic is needed in the getter and setter. Normally a property looks like this: public string name, get return value, set name equal to value. This is normally a properties look like, but by using auto implemented property, the code can be cleaner, like public string name, get and set. No need to like write like this: get return name, set name value. So who will take care of this? Automatically creates a hidden private field behind the scene to store the value. We don't need to write it ourselves. Automatically creates a hidden private field. So the C# compiler will automatically create a hidden private field for this name property behind the scene to store the value, and we don't need to write ourselves. When to use them? Use auto implemented property. We don't need to custom logic in get or set. We just want to store and retrieve value. We can still control access. We can make our setter private. So get means only it can be readable outside the class. Set means we are going to give access to the outside class to set the value of the private field. If we don't want to like any other class that will change our private field value, in that case we only give the read only access to that outside the class and set the set accessor as private, so that no one can change the value of this name property. Then other class can read name, but only the class itself can change it. So no other than the same class can change it. See, get and private set. So this is one property here which is type of public, and the get is simple get, and set is declared as private, so that no one can set the value of this here. Only the same class public. This is the constructor of the class where we are setting the value of this here. Here is here. Here make and model can read and write written from outside. Make and model both are public, which can be read and written from outside, but here only can be set inside the class. So here only can be set inside our class, as it is the set accessor is private. So finally, why to use encapsulation? Protects data from unintended changes. So like without our permission or without intention, we like protection or protects our data from outside changes. Improves code readability and maintainability. Allows validation before setting values. Keeps our code modular and secure. So friends, that's all about our encapsulation. I hope you found this session helpful and informative. Please check the description below for detailed notes. Thank you for watching, and please make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more C# topics. See you in the next video. Bye.